Hi everyone, this is part 2 podcast with Damo and so we are going to have a small tour in her studio here in Database and she will be like guiding us through her work, current work. So we'll do here in a little bit and yeah, we'll begin. So yeah, tell us about
Okay,
current work that you're
this
working.
is like these two works are from the same series. The Wounds Made Me Beautiful, the title of it. So this I started like here we used fabrics, layers of fabrics if you see closely. So these are like collage and overlap with each other. I use paint and as well as stitching I also use. Like in Kantha, if you see, there's like layer of clothes are there, they're stitched together like that. So this image is also like that. So I use drawing, layers of cloth, and the texture I created. So I have been working with very different kind of materials.
So do you start with like drawing first, or is it more of a
No,
spontaneous?
I start with a poem actually. These two works also like started with writing.
Right.
So first whatever going in my head or whatever I am responding to, so I will write it down in a poetry form most of the time.
Can you give us an example of your writing, maybe just so that the listeners?
Yes, of course. I can't recite right now, but
Alright.
maybe I'll share it.
Okay.
Yeah. So basically, with those lines, I start, and then while doing it, like physically, when I translate into some other material, both of it, then I don't think about it.
Okay.
Then I just allow myself into the process and how it evolves time. I allow accidents. So जैसे वो evolve करता है the body, I just let it happen.
So the poems that you are mentioning, are these like?
They're somehow connected with
Okay.
the idea. Okay, when I'm saying the wounds made me beautiful, so this stain, these layers of clothes, fabric for me, it's a very intimate thing. We wear it. Katha is also something where we it's a comfort.
Katha is used for
Katha
also
like-
blanket stitching.
Yeah, it's like a
right?
blanket, right? So,
Yeah.
we sleep on our bed in a very comfortable, cozy space. We introspect, we think. It's a very intimate thing, right? The clothes we are wearing also. So for me, that carries a lot of memory. The clothes we are wearing, or the generation of women. Like in my house, I have katha, which is like weaved by our grandparents. जहाँ पे मेरी दादी ने वो गाथा सिल के दिया था मेरे मम्मी, she handed me over to me also. So that it also carries some memory with it, and the images, the stitching, they're talking about whatever their experience they're gathering. तो वो quote unquote ऐसे art work नहीं है, but that has a very intimate story, and I feel I can relate to that very directly. So that's why I choose this language. Because before this, I was doing a very space-oriented work where I will create experience and working with the space. और वहाँ से ये एक transition था. When I came to Baroda, I was given this space. जहाँ पे एक studio space में constantly I would come every day and work.
Installation meaning like space, site specific sort of.
Site-specific installations I used to do. I also incorporate photography, video, sound, and sometimes I collaborate with performance artists. So there will be a performance video along with the costume and a lot of other elements.
Alright.
Okay, so it is more of a creating an experience inside the space, like a visual drama I want to create inside a space. So this was my practice before coming here. Like I came here last year in summer.
Okay.
And so previously for 6 years I was doing that kind of practice.
Okay.
So all those material experience that I also keep in the two-dimensional work.
So you did mention that you were in Hyderabad for some amount of years.
2 years I was there. I was doing my masters.
Okay.
Yeah. So no, the installation kind of work I started in 4th year only. Like third year, end of third year, से मैं I started I did one sculptural installation. So I made a flat fan, like ceiling fan. It was a life-size work, and it was replaced by like this. We have this here. Yeah. So, anyways, so this work particularly was my first sculptural installation. I painted it first,
Okay.
but I felt something is missing
Painting
there.
is like on canvas.
All on canvas.
All on. Okay.
Okay, the traditionally the academically just say how we are trained in the academic institute. So I was doing a like oil on canvas painting only. But then I felt it is not what I am trying to say.
It's
वो
not
communicate नहीं हो रहा है.
justifying the.
Yeah, I'm not justifying my thoughts and what I want to communicate. So I thought, okay, I can make it in real life.
Got it.
Yeah, so then I created this like a ceiling fan. I replaced the blades with real blades, like this big size. This big size blades, I replaced it.
Show the image now.
This image,
So maybe you can.
yeah, this one. Yeah, this one.
Yeah. So this is like the movie Final Destination, like.
Yeah, that kind of thoughts keep on coming, right? Like when
Is it like something related with death?
no, yeah, it's
Or
like a
blood?
suicidal tendency.
Okay.
It's a like I was passing through a phase where those kind of things came to my mind. You know, when you are alone, sitting inside, you are locked up in a room for months, and you just those kind of things, you know, keep on coming to you.
Okay.
I was so in that time this came, and I was doing a series called Nightmare also that time.
Alright.
Yeah, so there also I made a pillow where the pillow cover is there. Okay, that turned into a skin,
Oh.
and inside the layers of the pillow there were images.
Okay.
Okay, that was also like my first or second attempt doing a sculptural thing.
Okay.
Okay, so
Do you have a reference to that?
yeah, I have an image.
Alright.
I'll share that. And so yeah, these two were like I did in third year, and then onwards in fourth year also I did a few more installation kind of works besides painting.
So would you say that the kind of approach that you have for installation or work is also coming from your experience in the past working with theatre and
Of
with
course,
stage
of
and
course.
things like that?
Because yeah, I worked with like I told you that he was from the school time also. From the school time, I was doing very decoration, Jodhar Puja ka, those kind of sort of thing. So whenever I imagine things, so basically imagination 3 dimension में ही होता है. When we imagine or we dream, it never comes in 2 dimension. 2 dimension that's the illusion of what we are thinking or introspecting.
Okay.
अभी मुझे ऐसा लगा कि ये तो बस ये एक visual experience है. But we can involve audiences other जो sensory है उसको भी involve कर सकते हैं. जो touch का sense है या जो smell का sense है.
So are there any specific kind of work that
Have those in
yeah.
but if you see my body of work, you would see it scattered over different works.
Alright.
I didn't like digging into a particular.
I mean, like sometimes artists they work in like series format, right?
Yeah,
So
I
they take
no,
it's
no,
not
I
like-
I never did
So
that.
every artwork that you do is actually usually like different
You,
from.
you would find a common thread
Got it.
because there is poetry,
Mhm.
there is a kind of tension. In all of my work, you would see a installation, you would see a path where
Yeah.
audience can enter into the work.
Mhm.
There will be typical aspects of it what will pop out,
Understood.
jump on you. So these are the clues, to stitch a story
Mhm.
from your perspective. I mean, who the experiencing and
Alright.
being in the space. And yeah, my narratives, my paintings are also never narrative. Like academic training के वक्त में था, but later on I try to create a language which is not very narrative based,
Mhm.
but it is creating kind of an experience what can invoke you in some ways.
And the other thing that I have like observed in
Mhm.
quite a lot of your works and the conversations that we have had is like the involvement of, let's say, a figure,
Yeah.
right? Sometimes there are a lot of images where human forms are present, and then
Yes.
certain people, they tend to not want to deal with the human interactions,
Mhm.
yeah, human forms.
Mhm.
They stick with the maybe abstract format.
Okay, okay.
How-
I want to say here like
Okay.
one thing. That is for me. So while doing these works, now this
Yeah.
particular work, if you see, or this images, they are like, if you look at your palm, the same lines I can see in the river bed.
Okay.
Yeah. So you see that in every organic form.
Uh,
The kind of veins you see on a body of a tree, the similar kind of veins you have in your feet.
yes. Yes.
So all the organic forms, the forms are important for me. Not, it could be any living thing. It could be human, it could be some other living species, but yeah, it's a living, breathing thing.
Okay.
So that form comes to my work very directly.
Okay. Okay.
So irrespective of human or presence or absence.
All right.
Yeah.
And maybe you can give us an idea of
I guess
this
this work also started, so
because it's like,
quite different.
yeah.
Yeah. You can see still similar forms.
Yes.
Yeah. But this is different. This also started from a poetry called Illusion of a Window. Okay. So this poetry, so I was given a space inside the space studio. There was no window.
Okay.
The space felt very suffocating for me.
All right.
Okay. So I thought I need a window here in this wall, and I would create one. So what I did, I took a picture of a window. What I love, you would see a garden through it. So हमारे canteen में जो था, inside the canteen space, there's a big window. So I took a picture there, and I divided that image into 25 small A4 size images. और वो उससे मैंने reconstruct another window.
Oh.
So it's like a window stuck in your wall, which is a illusion of a window.
Illusion.
Okay, illusion of a window. It's like when we are inside the AC room, we can see the trees outside, but we cannot smell or we cannot get any kind of sense of it.
Contradicting the idea of space studio itself, like.
Yeah. So this is actually, I grew up in a city, and most of my life, like I lived in an urban space where, when we look at nature, there's something comes in between. The experience is not so, but the बहुत पास से, we are not close enough. I always felt we are not close enough because some architectural form will come in between. Like if we go see through windows, even we go on a trips, inside the car we are looking outside and looking at it through the rectangular shape.
Yeah.
So this was the idea behind it, how we are confined in a space and looking at nature.
Okay.
In space also I see another thing, how they use nature as a prop for a decorative purpose. कि यार like जैसे छोटे-छोटे tubs में people keep succulents on the table or something like that. I'm talking about. Okay, we're somehow distancing ourselves from nature. So these dialogues happening here in this work.
Okay. And this is actually a mixed media.
This is a mixed media sort of thing. It's like photography manipulated with ink and stitching.
Alright. So there's a layer of ink.
Layer of ink and acrylic paints and drawings, and there's like if you see the threads here stitched.
Oh, these are stitched threads.
Stitched threads.
Okay, I thought it was a line drawn with like markers or something.
Yeah, some of them are line drawn, and some, if you see, these lines are drawn. Some of them. So these are like the architectural experience I had being inside the industrial area of Alembic City. So that color palette, that also came.
Yeah, and the straight lines.
The straight lines, those forms came, and they're creating the abstraction. to reaching the nature. So, yeah. Then this was something, this is part of a work actually.
Okay.
These forms, I don't know if you touch it. Okay, so this
Are we
feels.
allowed to touch?
Yeah, of course. So, I don't know how it feels like.
It's
It feels
like
like
a
a bird.
It's like a bird.
Bird. No.
Chidiya.
Oh. Oh, so basically, this was combining with a video. So I was in Mumbai while staying there. So this is an incomplete work. This is I started. I didn't finish it yet. Maybe later on I will do in process work here. Okay. And so there's like high rises all around in Mumbai, if you see. And there's lots of glass architectures. I was reading an article about, in a newsfeed key. There's a lot of birds they get confused. So lot of birds are dying, they just come and broke the glasses, crashes with the glasses. So that feeling stays with me. So directly I'm not showing ki some bird is just breaking the glass.
I'm very curious about your emotions about death, because I think it's not a highlighted subject, but it is somewhere in your work or in your work. The idea of maybe death is somehow related. Yeah, just
Isn't it? When we are breathing, we always have the idea of death, isn't it?
Sure.
Like I think in a very general level, everybody have a sense of death and their experience with death, like losing someone close, or imagining yourself in a situation, or with age. I have seen my parents are like their age around like 60, in the like 70. So they are talk about they're in the verge where they feel they're decaying over the time, right? They don't grow anymore.
Okay.
Like after for 60, 70-year-old people.
Old age.
Okay, old age. Sometimes like when I was in Hyderabad, some of our friend bad thing happened, like he committed suicide. Okay, that was he was our batchmate in painting department only. So that time also I was, going into the idea, and I didn't know. I mean, I was questioning myself, what could I have done to, not let this happen to him. But yeah, so those thoughts keep on coming back, and I question that. And the idea of life and death is a very common thing. I think everyone introspect. Maybe we don't talk about it a lot. But yeah, it is there.
Alright. And then
next,
could you share some of your photography works?
Photography works. So here, if we see, this is yeah. If you see this work, this is the work I did in space here only after coming in Baroda.
Is this the same?
This is a collaboration with Asha Guru.
Okay.
She's a performance artist, and she did the performance. I designed the space and costume, and I displayed it like this. This is a collaboration with a theatre person. If you see, this is the space we are given. A performance space here.
Alright.
So I transformed it into this.
It's a huge space, no?
Yeah.
Where was this?
It's a Guruvak Singh Maidan inside the campus, Hyderabad Central University campus. Yeah, this is a close view. So if you see, this mirrored boxes are there, and they are reflecting the same color. So this is the.
So it somehow blends in with the
blends in the environment. So yeah.
And it's an interactive sort of space,
This is a performance space. This is practically a stage space. These are the actors. So we had to design it according to the actors, their movements, the scenes and the script. So all came together. So the light, the costume, everything. So I was a scenographer here,
Okay.
designing the light, costume, and the space, the entire visual setup. This is Spore's girl in burqa. This is a character, like this part is painted, if you notice very clearly. This.
I think this in itself is like a superhero character, like superheroine character. Sorry.
So
What's the story of
I
this?
was telling the thing now, the characters we have within us, different entities, and how just looking at people we judge, okay, this person is like this. Okay, so so yeah, so somebody wearing a burqa, the idea, those kind of conversation was happening like during 2022 also, the burqa verdict ke baad. So yeah, a lot of conversation. Some people were very against it. Some people were like, they should have the right to wear burqa. And I had very different kind of conversations. But in general point of view, when I saw a person who is wearing burqa, and next day just ऐसे he just take off the burqa and jersey पहन के she would play on the ground and literally like with everyone else. So that was kind of very inspiring. So it felt like, okay, this story needs to be heard. So I did this project with her, Diksha. There's another thing I did with Tonaya Kundu. She was my senior. She's also a performance artist. Reborn. So this roots you see, we had it in the campus. There's like a lot of trees, and these roots are like they regrow. I mean, in the entire year, you'd see they will eventually become dead, and in the monsoon again they grow back. Okay, so that's why we like installed it in the nature. So we take a cast. I weaved it around her body, then we take it off, and then we get installed it in the nature, so they will grow back again.
Oh, so basically what you have done is you're taking the form of whatever you have made here.
Yeah.
That you.
The entire body basically I weaved it around her. It's like a body cast, torso जैसा बन गया था, with these roots. Yeah, you see the entire body. I took the cast of the entire body.
Wow. Is it still there?
Yeah, they grew back. I don't know how it looks like right now. Yeah.
Okay, that's some of the process.
Yeah.
Wow. There's no thorns and thing, Is this the work that you were talking about? The nightmare?
No, this is poet's washroom. Poet's washroom, because we don't have privacy in our homes. So, this work also inspired from a poetry, not written by me. I read a poem after making love. That basically inspired me to do this. And the idea was, when we were in like masters, lot of conversation was happening around how after college to khatam ho gaya, how we are going to pursue next as a career, how we are looking at things, which direction we would go, all those things. And I didn't wanted to wind up in a 9-to-5 job ever. So I was very scared also कि शायद करना पड़ेगा, कि ऐसा लग भी रहा था I might be in a position where I had to do a job for a temporary situation, but still okay. And I have seen a lot of artists like after college they had to take financial responsibility and they eventually gave up. They stopped their practice, they couldn't able to continue that. So that struggle was behind my mind, and I am also coming from a middle class background, so I had to do certain things, secure myself financially. So all those things came. So it's like a vicious loop. Every day I have seen seniors like every day they would go to office, come back, and they don't talk about it with their families. They
Okay.
cannot talk about it, and not about only finance people. Like in general, lot of
Yeah,
people who are actually people. Everyone is creative. They grow out of creativity, right? Like everybody paints when they're kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, and those creative instincts, they keep on dying like over time
Because of the society.
because of the society, the lifestyle we have to have. So people are unknowingly they lose that entity from
So why
themselves.
bathroom then? Like,
So bathroom is a place. It's a public toilet.
okay, it's a public toilet
Public
space.
toilet space. It's a not a like घर में क्या होता है? If you know this is your washroom, you go inside. If you lock the door, you can stay there for 1 hour.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think a
This
lot of
was-
the people also they
Yeah.
find bathroom like
Yeah.
these days
Yeah.
one of the
All
places
the
to just
thinking
yeah.
process happens inside the bathroom. Yeah. So that's what it is. So when you are in a washroom, then you become a poet.
Okay.
Okay. You think about things differently. You look at things differently, and you come out from the washroom and you ready,
Yeah.
tied, pehn ke, now you're ready for go to job, and you have to catch a train. So that's why this
Alright.
alarm clock is there inside behind the pillow. Okay, beside the pillow, and it's upside down.
Yeah, it's very. You
Yeah.
know the movie Inception.
Yeah.
They had like a lot of illusions like this, no?
Yeah.
Folding of the universe, it looks like that.
Yeah.
So was there like a mirror or something that is
No,
reflecting?
it was not a mirror. In bathroom, like next to this, there was a door where there was a mirror. But here there is no mirror.
Are
so it
these
was-
text?
Yeah, this is the poem I was talking about. I got inspired. I pasted it like this.
Okay.
And in the sink also, there's like sands, and like apple was there.
Okay.
So, and there's also sound of a train was installed inside the commode. So, वहाँ पे if you go like in a frequency, the sound of train will come, you know.
Got it.
So that vicious circle, you know, of a middle class life, ki everything is fixed. You know, every day you wake up and have to go to work and come back and do the same stuff over and over. And
This
go
was
to the
also
washroom.
then executed in Hyderabad.
Yeah, in Hyderabad. Yeah. So this was like, you know, like public washroom का ये था कि public washroom में when you are alone, you have a very intimate space. You can be anything or anyone. But if somebody enters, you suddenly change.
Of course.
So the shift of the character, you know, I also want to work around the area where we perform being in our like घर में भी
Personal space
personal
and
space,
the
public space everywhere. We perform in certain way to maintain a certain
Yeah.
kind of image, the way we are known to people around us. So that thing, and sometimes we loses ourselves also in it. I was reading a poem of about a line I remember. I'm the absence of myself. I'm everything but absence of myself.
Alright.
So yeah, so that stuck with me, and yeah, this idea was inspired from there. This is I done in Coach in Delhi.
So are these also installation
These are
interactive?
Yeah, so this is basically a maze kind of a space if you see. This work has, you can see from two different perspectives. One is, so I was working with space just for like 2 years, 2-3 years. So I was exploring new areas of it. So architecturally, what I was trying to do, so if you see a 3-dimensional space, and I am a painting student, so I have been creating illusion of a 3-dimensional space in a 2-dimensional surface, right? अभी ये जो white walls है यहाँ पे, if you saw the edge lines, the shadow is different.
Yes.
I mean, both the side is white, but the two colors is different. Two whites are different because of the shadow. So that gives you the sense of 3-dimensionality. So when we put the image on a 2-dimensional surface, then also we try to create that edge line very prominent, so we can divide the space. I was trying to do the reverse. So in a three-dimensional space, I put a light to neutralize the shadow in the both the walls. So here it's not visible, but in a practical scenario, if you put a light in between, then the space opens up. There's an illusion of a two-dimensionality. So that space actually look bigger than usual.
In a lot of the in architectural sense also.
Yeah.
Space design also, the idea of corners that really fascinates me. Like
I got a lot of appreciation from architects actually whenever I displayed, and in the display also in coach, they like one of the architect professor he told me how you cracked it, like this is brilliant. So yeah, this was a architectural spatial exploration I had during this process, and this red and white came from a particular idea where, so if you see in Khirki village, there's lots of Khirki village in Delhi, where the Khoj residency happens. There's a Italian architecture building, and outside if you see like there's like from different parts of India and from abroad also, from African country, Middle East country, a lot of people migrated there. And they live in a particular situation. There is no privacy. There's very small shacks are there. They live upstairs.
All the houses are connected.
All the houses are connected. So those kind of spaces. Okay. And I never see none of them, and they live next door, but nobody will come in the coach inside the space where all this community artwork is happening.
I understand.
Okay, so nobody ever came. So that's why the name was the decorum you shouldn't maintain. So when I saw the glamorous spaces of gallery, when I went to Delhi and went to KNMA and big spaces, where the display space was so intimidating to a few people or a particular sector of people, where actually we cannot come and enter the space. So I felt a kind of, paradoxical situation here. We are doing community art, we are doing it in such a way, but people of community cannot come inside.
Yeah.
Okay. So
the access is not there.
For some reason. So this is also again the tension inside a space, that makes you conscious, that makes you behave in certain way. So that's why the maze is here. You cannot move freely inside this space. You can enter my door.
It's a maze.
Yeah, this is like 9, this door kind of, they are placed inside the space, and they are reflecting each other, all these lines.
Alright.
If any accident or anything happened, the police they put red tapes around it. So you cannot go there. So that's a kind of authoritative symbol, this red and white. So that's why I uses this red lines to pronounce that. Yeah.
So I believe that this was a very interesting interaction with Deek.
Thank you for having this
I
conversation.
think a lot of the subjects that we now talked about, especially regarding the space, I'm so happy that you spoke about this, because a lot of the time, when we are having like just a normal conversation, we do talk about all these things, but in reality, in the gallery space also, to have a conversation, something like this, where we are talking about the reality, where we are talking about such a community, we are talking about these kind of people, this kind of situation, but they themselves are also disconnected from
the reality.
And I think that is a common phenomena we see everywhere, like the division of society and everything, like in Mumbai.
But I think there is a possibility to break that wall also.
And I also think that now in contemporary practice there are a lot of organizations also who are trying to.
We can create accessibility and we can take
interactions between.
Interaction can happen.
Yeah.
So that's why I also like to beside these kind of practice also what I did I did a land art project last year. So there also it's like so what I want to do now, I would go to natural spaces, I would go and interact with people. bring elements from there and I try to work in a studio space. So I'm trying to find a space now where they can collide together
Understood.
and make another direction.
Mhm.
So yeah, that's what I'm working on with.
So we want to thank Dee for
Thank
her
you very
time
much.
and for sharing her experiences and her stories about like why she's doing or practicing the things that she's doing currently. And if you want to get in touch with her, I'll be sharing her links to social media, her email address, so that you can get in touch with her if you are interested in knowing more about her work or maybe collaboration. You know, uh, yeah, I would suggest to get in touch because there's a lot of cool things to listen and to learn. So thank
Yeah,
you, Dave.
thank you so much. Also, I also looked back and we had a amazing conversation.
And we want to again thank Mr. Studio also for providing this opportunity for aka Funk Blue to do this podcast. All right, cheers and thank you.
Okay, thank you.